Happy Thanksgiving to all my US friends. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. It's actually felt forever. I actually felt that it was more than a year, but no, it hasn't. Surprise, surprise. But anyways, how are you doing? How is everything? We have Alista from Jamaica turning in. Hello. Happy Thursday to you. Hope everything is good. Yeah, a lot has happened over the last many months. I've been kind of away from YouTube, not because I chose to stay away. I've been like really busy. I've been busy with work, with life, with just it's been so much. So I wanted to do kind of an update. I wanted to chat about that. I wanted to chat about yeah, lots of stuff. And where's the music? There it is. All right. Hello. Shouldn't you be shouldn't you be painting? You should be painting right now. Not supported for configurations. All right. Anyways, so the lots of updates. Let's start there. Let's start with an update. First update we're going to start with is I am currently updating my course to reflect all the new cool stuff that is happening in Final Cut Pro. So if you guys don't know about my course, I have a masterclass for Final Cut Pro. Let me just find it. Gonna bring it up. So I'm gonna screen share, not that. I'm gonna choose to close that. And yeah, enhanced editing. So the whole, I'm updating it to reflect everything that is, oh, where am I? Oh, of course I can't bring myself up. Yeah, I'm updating it to reflect Final Cut's new updates, the magnetic timeline, all the cool things. I've actually used it on a, client project already, which was really cool. I found some really cool things that workflows to make the tracks and the masks even better, which was super cool to find out. So I'm excited to make that video. That's going to be in an upcoming video as well, condensed version. In the course, I'm going to go through all the steps and how to get to the absolute best banger mask out of Final Cut Pro. And it's on sale right now, 50% off if you use the code CYBERCUT. So make sure you go check that out. The website is Enhanced Edit and 50% off for CYBERCUT. So let's go back to the white screen, please. Here, there we go. That's why it wasn't coming up. And I'm up here twice now. All right. So let's get that out of here. Bam. Okay. So let's get that off. So that's the course. The course is being updated as we speak, which is super cool. And also they have not only the magnetic timeline, I'm going to talk about the captions and the transcriptions. I'm going to talk about everything that has been updated in the last few months. It was a pretty big update, which definitely made me happy to see that Final Cut is going in the right direction, because if I could, I would use Final Cut in every aspect. But speaking of Final Cuts, there's also DaVinci Resolve, which I have been using a lot extensively on client projects. I actually got an opportunity to work on Werner Herzog's film restoration of one of his previous films. They're updating it and potentially moving it to some kind of stereoscopic viewing platform that I won't mention. It may happen, I don't know, but like, we're restoring the film to its full glory. We're upraising it. We're, recolor grading it. We're trying to make it fantastic. And So that's one thing, working on that. The main company that I've been working with, Mad Microbe, we've been like project after project after project, which has been fantastic. And so I don't know if you've watched the video, my Final Cut versus DaVinci Resolve video, and which one to choose. Both are going to be fantastic, but if you're going to be working as a solo creator, as a crew of one, Final Cut is by far the fastest to ramp up your skills and to get really good editing, the creative side of it. DaVinci Resolve is really great to start and then build as you go and learn as you go, which then turns into a powerhouse. And it definitely future-proofs a lot of the stuff that you're going to be doing and working on, and potential. DaVinci Resolve covers all the bases. But if you're going to be just working kind of isolated within your own kind of environment, Final Cut is the fastest to learn and then to get really good at, though you do have to kind of buy improvements as you go, like extensions and plugins and stuff like that. But you do need to get those if you want Final Cut to do certain things. DaVinci Resolve has it all built in. You just have to learn how to do it. It's this balance. It's what do you want to spend time doing? Do you want to spend time learning, or do you want to spend time getting on with it? And if your work is bringing in money, both are going to be fantastic. Both are worth that. So another big thing, I moved my office. I am in a new space right now. So this is welcome to my new office. Welcome to my new setup. I've actually pared it down quite a bit. Removed a lot of the monitors. I upgraded my monitors to be, very color accurate. I needed it for the project I was working on, so kind of went through. And I'm all BenQ now. I didn't go Apple Pro Display for obvious reasons. I didn't. I couldn't justify those costs. Though, if you're in the market for it right now, the Samsung T9 SSDs, if you go and focus, no, probably not. The T9 SSDs, these are Thunderbolt 3, they're not Thunderbolt, they're USB 3 2.2. Yeah. These are on sale, 40% off on Amazon.com. I bought a whole bunch of these. These are fantastic. I'm working with 6K footage, uncompressed, which definitely chugs on other drives and it almost becomes unusable. They're down from like $500 to like $350. So if you're in the market, I put a link in the description. I buy these every time they go on sale because you never know. I bought 3 of them recently. Again, for the project that I was working on, because we're up-resing everything to the 6K. So the summer was busy. Work was definitely busy. I had to travel a lot to I had to do some traveling for some shoots, so that was cool. But the entire time I was thinking, oh, that would be a cool video idea to make and do. But I was so slammed with work that by the time I was done work, I was just like, I was exhausted. I didn't want to make a lackluster video. I actually wanted to put my thoughts into it and think about it and add something to the conversation, not just to try to be the first one out the gate to do their, those kind of videos will come. But what have you guys been up to? Share what have I missed besides Final Cut updates, the DaVinci Resolve updates? Speaking of which, have you guys been paying attention to what Adobe is doing with Premiere Pro? Their latest, they're not kidding around. They kind of came out swinging with the last Premiere Pro update. The extend clip feature is really cool. Their AI extend clip feature, where if you need like 2 more seconds of a clip for a transition for something like that, their AI will be able to do that. I thought that was a fantastic ad, because I've been in situations where the clip, it just isn't long enough. And so do you freeze the last frame? Do you make the edit shorter? If your timing is working, and like, it just, this is just extend the clip, do the transition, and you're kind of on the go. It's only HD at the time, so if you're working with 4K footage, it still may work, but you'll have to kind of have that as your workaround. What else? Yeah, work is full steam. Shoots and the film restoration project. Again, really cool things. Just keeping busy. A lot of stuff around the house improvements. We did that too, that we needed to do during, before everything got cold outside. So that was cool. The Mac Minis. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you've been paying attention. We all have. Like, when the new Mac Minis dropped, the M4 chips and the amount of GPUs that are in those computers, and the M4 Pro and even the Max in the new MacBook Pro, it actually makes me really excited for the next version of the Mac Studio, which I'm still on an M1 Max, and it's still fantastic. It's probably one of the best Apple products I have owned that I can remember. I don't feel disappointed like I did with the Mac Studio that I had for like 6 years. It was great, but it always felt like it never lived up to the hype that Apple promised it would be, unless you start specking it out crazily to prices that, like, I can't justify that. So it's been good. Like, the last few months have been really good. I've been really busy. I've written all these video ideas that I wanted to talk about, and then the moment kind of passed because it was topical in the moments, but just finding that time. And it really got me thinking, like I'm still really busy, but I want to do YouTube because it has been transformative in the way I communicate, the way I work, the kind of opportunities that presented themselves. I think it's fantastic sharing info and not trying to, I'm not trying to make videos that go super viral. I want to make videos that are really useful and helpful. And, if they do get a lot of views, that's just a bonus, and it's just a bonus at that point. But it is a side hustle. It does require a lot of time. And I made a video recently where it's not a video that is typical for my channel, but it's a video that kind of covers how to start a YouTube channel over 40, because I started my channel when I was 42. I'm now 47, and I still enjoy this process. I still enjoy making these kind of videos, and I enjoyed doing live streams. One of the best things that came out of starting a YouTube channel was being able to just communicate better and have more confidence talking just in general, just to people in meetings, in life. And then all the people that I met, all the opportunities that came through, like meeting like-minded people that are genuinely passionate about the same nerdy stuff that I am. I say nerdy, but like, like really detailed, getting into those moments, like, oh, did you see that? Did you hear about this? It's like being in school again. It's finding that clique within the school that are just as like-minded and excited about stuff, without having to leave the house and go to these conventions and do these things where they're great, but everything happens so quickly, where this is kind of a slow burn where you build up a community in essence, and you're able to meet people that are very like-minded and connect with them. And when I read a comment saying like, oh, this video really helped me, fantastic. Like, the older you get, the more your time is compressed into like, this stuff needs to be taken care of, because ultimately the older you get, the more you realize that, like, oh, no one's coming to do this stuff for you. It's you have to take care of it, which is cool, which is fine. We're here. We're all enjoying it. So this was more, just wanted to kind of hang out and just get used to hanging out and just talking, just having my thoughts, not trying to formulate them into a very concise 5 to 10 minute video. It was more about just getting used to talking again, because I felt like I've been so much in my head lately that working, and I'm only communicating via messages and just kind of trying to get the work done, and then, you know, when work is done, it's all family time and we're busy doing stuff. So it is about making the time. But YouTube has opened up so many opportunities. It has allowed me the ability to buy new gear that I wouldn't have normally bought through the money that came through YouTube. Not just AdSense, but the sponsorships that I have done. And I'm very selective on the sponsors that I choose to do on this channel. Like, I genuinely want to be using the product, and I'll talk about it. Not just like, hey, these guys reached out and, you know, talk about this product, here, we'll give you some money. I don't like doing that, because it's like, if I don't genuinely feel that I'll use the product, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to just sell for selling's sakes. I'd rather make a product like my course that I feel is very helpful and I feel it's worth the money, and the support comes from people responding by buying that, by using it, by actually enjoying it. Like, I felt better making that than earning money from a sponsorship about a product that not using as much as I used to. It's cool. But anyways, those who know. So moving forward, I'm going to be very selective on the products and the placements that I have on the channel. It's more about, I'd rather promote a friend's service or product, so, you know, kind of raise the ships as we all go. Cool stuff. So the other thing is, with DaVinci Resolve, I got the opportunity to work in Stereo 3D with the way they do the workflow. And if that is the way that we're going to be editing spatial video, I think it's going to be fantastic, because it's super simple, where it just knows left and right eyes, and any change you make to one automatically happens to the other. So if you do a color correction, you're only working with one eye at a time, but it affects both equally. So it's actually a really good workflow, and you can switch between eyes really quickly. So if spatial video is going to be like that kind of editing, it's going to be really, really easy to do spatial editing in DaVinci Resolve. So I'm curious to see how Final Cut and DaVinci kind of match up, because I haven't worked with spatial video in Final Cut Pro yet. Like, the only thing that I've done is stereoscopic work, and I only have my iPhone to really test it out, but I can't watch it back, so it's kind of hard. That's why I don't know if Apple just missed the readings on the wall. They thought that 2024 or 2023 was going to be the year of spatial video, and then AI literally just dominated everything. So I don't know if they were kind of caught with their pants down. I think they were. I didn't think that they probably thought it was going to be years out. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you're having a great day and relaxing, not making 30 videos and making us all feel bad because we're not creating enough content. I'm looking at you. I know you're always busy working on stuff, but it does. I am excited about 2025 because the amount of ways to create content, there's more than one app that you can use, and you should learn every single app that is out there. Yeah. Time for a video. I wouldn't be surprised if you already have 10 ready to go recording it while you are live streaming. Ah, man, I need to get back into this. I feel like I've stumbled on my live streaming capabilities. I'm overthinking, not just in the flow state. I need to get into that. Here we go. I do hope that Apple releases the Mac Studio that we're all expecting, because if they do, there is going to be a big wave of people that will upgrade from the M1 or even downgrade from the Mac Studio, because I think by now a lot of them know that there's not much upgradability in the current Mac Studio. So unless they switch that and they open the doors for NVIDIA, which I don't see them doing, but I don't understand why they have such a beef with them. I guess it's just, it is what it is. But if there was a way to include NVIDIA cards natively into the Mac Pro, like, I don't know. It would be hard to compete with that. Yeah, sometimes my brain is flowing without the brain to mouth connection, so I need to work on that. But yeah, here are the updates for you. Definitely working on a lot of cool stuff, making a lot of videos. I did a huge experiment on this channel just recently this week. I posted a video without sending it to the subscribers. And let me tell you, the first thing that happens is that video gets immediately crushed. I think we're 3 days in now, and the video only has like 700 impressions. Like literally, it's YouTube is not pushing it anywhere, which is interesting. I didn't expect that, but I'm gonna give that video time and let YouTube do its thing and find an audience for it, because it's not necessarily the video exactly for the people that would be interested in, that are subscribed to this channel. But we'll see. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks, and if it just kind of DOA, we'll see. I may rejig it and kind of try to format it so it works better on this channel, and then send it out to subscribers. So you think that the Final Cut works better on Macs versus DaVinci, and that's on an M3 iMac. It could be. So I'm assuming it's Mac Studio, or sorry, DaVinci Resolve Studio, or is it the free version of DaVinci? Because if it's the free version, it doesn't utilize the multi GPUs. I think it's only single thread. So it's really reduced in its speed and capabilities, where Final Cut Pro is completely wide open, and it's using everything that the computer has to offer. Okay, so it is Studio. So then, yeah, my mom has an iMac M3. I should test it out to see how it is. Like on an M1 Mac Studio, Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve work flawlessly. I haven't run into issues that have made me go, whoa, this is obvious. But like DaVinci Resolve has saved my butt in the last few months, because when we were working on the Werner Herzog project, Final Cut couldn't read any of the files. Like zero. It's like, nope. And they were QuickTime files, but it was just like, no, it doesn't support this format. And it's just like, my pro brain, my Final Cut Pro brain's going like, you're supposed to be a pro. Like, really, you can't have this? Like, I would have to convert everything to ProRes. Like, I couldn't even bring it into Final Cut Pro to optimize it. I had to literally use Media Encoder, of all things, to encode everything, to transcode everything to work in to ProRes 444, just to retain all the information. But even then, like, I had to use DaVinci Resolve because it had a better stereoscopic workflow. and better coloring tools, and just like we needed that kind of level where this is a project that I couldn't. There's no way I could have done this project in Final Cut Pro and felt comfortable about it. Not only that, it's like now I have to give the project back to kind of future-proof it, and Final Cut, my clients wouldn't accept it. I'd have to be able to convert it, and doing that is not an option. So I had to use DaVinci Resolve, and now I can send off that as a collect that is kind of future-proof. Like, I feel confident that 5 years from now, if they want to open up that file, DaVinci Resolve will be like, okay, yeah, I can open up that file, or there will be at least a workaround. Here's a pro tip. If you're ever working in Final Cut and you kind of want to archive your project, but also export an XML and potentially convert it to a standard XML from Final Cut Pro. Because 10 years from now, if you need to open up that project and Final Cut goes like, yeah, I don't open up these projects anymore, like they did from Final Cut 7 to Final Cut 10, now 11, thankfully, it'll at least give you a path to get your base edit back in line, and then if you need to tweak and all that kind of stuff, that's a whole different thing. So yes, John, you are 100% correct. I am reminded every single day why I love Final Cut Pro. I needed to do something, and this is actually my next video that's going to be coming out. I just needed to take stills from a storyboard and then line them up into a Boardomatic with a voiceover, just to do a rough edit, just to time out like how long these clips need to be on, just very, very simple. In Final Cut Pro, and initially the whole project was starting in Premiere Pro because that's where we're finishing it. So, okay, I'm just gonna dump in all the files into Premiere Pro. I laid it out, and then I'm trying to like just move so a still image lines up with a piece of voiceover underneath it. I got to the point where I got frustrated, like just arranging that, like just being able to move between clips, like the edit point was slow. So whatever, I got through it because it's in Premiere Pro, so I wanted to start the project in there. But then I went to export. Now, mind you, this is HD, stills, and a voiceover. And it was saying it was going to take 40 minutes to export that to an MP4. And I'm just like, what is happening here? Why is this? So long story short, I exported XML, imported into Final Cut Pro, just relinked everything, and it exported in 2 minutes. And it's one of those things where it's just like, it shouldn't have taken that long, but for some reason, Premiere Pro didn't like, it was just like, well, because it was a longer piece. It wasn't like just like a 2-3 minute thing. It was substantial, but because it was just images, you just went bam, 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 bam. And they went right through it. And I'm pretty sure DaVinci Resolve would have done the same thing. But it was just like, little things like that remind me why I love Final Cut Pro just through and through. It's just, it's so fast compared to everything else that I use. Though I'm getting pretty fast in DaVinci Resolve and I'm really liking it. Yes, I know, it's a wrapper. QuickTime is a wrapper. So I believe there's 120, yeah, there's a lot. There was an uncompressed format because that's what they needed to export from a Pablo system from a decade ago. And it was just annoying. The files were massive. Like a 1 minute clip was 200 gigs. So I was like, okay, it wasn't manageable, and the project was delivered on a backup drive. So I'm trying to work with these massive QuickTime files that the drive obviously can't handle the speed. So this is where I ended up buying 4 terabyte, 3/4 terabyte drives, and then just overnighted, compressed everything to ProRes onto the Samsung ones, which the Samsung SD 4 terabytes. These aren't still 40%. Don't miss this. This is what makes Final Cut Pro faster. Drives like this. This is good. So yeah, we had 16 terabytes of footage on a 20 terabyte backup drive that they're like, okay, we need to re-edit this. I'm like, this isn't going to work. So went out, bought the drives, converted everything to ProRes, dumped it into Final Cut. No, not Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve. And then the director, you know, I was talking to him and we're just playing it back. He's like, how are you playing it back so fast? They couldn't play it back on the system at the studio that they were working on. And I'm like, well, I just made it all ProRes and I transferred it to these drives. And he's like, you know, is ProRes okay? Like, did it lose quality? I'm like, no, it's ProRes 444. So it's just a wrapper that, and it's the industry standard. They've been out for what? More than a decade now. It's a fantastic format. You're not going to lose visually lossless. I explained the whole thing to him. Like, we can play back, and like we're sitting there watching the playback, and he's just like, he's never seen it play back in real time. The files are so giant. But again, the system that they're working on was like a 10-year-old system that was never. My sound off. Is my sound off? Yeah. My wire. What's happening? Oh. Hello. My wire. I don't know what's happening. Noise. Oh. Give me a sec. Noise. Sound is off. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let me know if this works better. Is this better? Oh, okay. Anyway, I don't know what the hell that was. What just happened? Okay. We good. First time coming back. I feel all funky. No, not all good. Okay. Let's try this. Is this better? Okay. I'm gonna close some of the stuff that's back here. That shouldn't be. I sound like a bot. Do I sound better? Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you. First time back and I'm going crazy. Love it. Thank you guys. All right. So again, DaVinci Resolve saved my butt. It definitely saved my butt, and it allowed us to work. And it actually made me the director called me a digital warlock, that I was able to do stuff. I'm like, it's not a secret. It's simple. It's choosing the right gear. I'm not promoting this. It's just, this is genuinely what I if you looked at my desk, you would literally see. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Can I get my camera in here? No. My camera's not active at the moment. But if you could see my desk, I have tons of these. Here's one that's not plugged in. This isn't a T5. I've gone T5s, T7s, and now they have T9s. Like, instead of buying a huge Mac Pro with 8 terabytes of SSD, which would be fantastic, you don't need to do that. Like, just buy good SSDs that work with your system. And these are the ones that they're consistent, they work well. Over the last 7 years, I've only had one drive kind of fail on me, but it was more of a connection issue. It was literally a connection. So I finally was able to boot it up and then transfer everything over. I didn't touch it. I didn't move it once it had a secure connection. So even then I was able to retrieve everything and just dump it over. And because it transfers quickly, it was all done within 2 hours. So, so I thought about doing this. I thought about buying a NAS. I have an 18 terabyte drive that I back up regularly from these SSDs as just a backup. But as a project comes in, I buy this and 2 of these, usually one as a main and one as a backup. And I just work off of that because like for 300 bucks, and then typically I'd bill it back to the client, but it's such a small expense comparatively where if I was to buy a NAS, like, I don't know, like the price is just too crazy. And it's just like, I know there's raids and you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. But I find this, for me, this is a lot simpler because the transfer speeds are crazy fast. And at the end, I just make a backup for the client and I just send them the entire project. And just go, here you go. And 4 terabytes is usually more than enough to work on a lot of the projects that I work on. So it just makes sense. Like I have a backup for me. I just label it, boom, store it away, send one to the client. And that's it. And I know that if I grab it, it's going to work. And I usually do back it up onto a slower, more stable drive that is like long term. Like if I need to get it, I can get it. Yeah, like I know it's fantastic, but when I look at the price, I'm like just like I don't want to spend that money. I'd rather invest $4,000, $5,000 in one shot because I know I'm gonna have to buy a drive anyways to then send to the client and to do all these things, and I don't need access to everything. Though, if you're working in a Final Cut Pro and you're finding, or even DaVinci or anything, and you're finding that it's slowing down, your whole system is slowing down, make sure that your hard drives aren't within like 100 gigabytes of filling up, because the system chokes at that point because it just can't read and write fast enough. So make sure that you always have like at least 200 gigabytes of space, because sometimes it needs to cache, sometimes it needs to do stuff when it's reading and writing, so you can't move stuff out of the way fast enough. So if you ever find that you're starting to slow down, check your hard drives, check your main hard drive that you're never full. And that's why whatever you buy for your computer, don't buy the base, because the system will take up 150, 200 gigs just over a year. Like if you, during live streams, you'll save it there. If you're downloads, and then like everything just backs up and your system will slow down because your hard drive doesn't have enough space. So go minimum 500. A terabyte is definitely recommended. 2 terabytes, you actually open up a faster SSD hard drive. So keep that in mind. The read and write speeds between the 1 terabyte ones that are built into the 2 terabytes have been shown to have dramatically faster speed rates when you go to 2 terabytes and above. That's what I have in this one. But again, I fill up the hard drives really fast because I don't want the technology to get in my way. I don't want to be thinking about file management and all that kind of stuff. That's why I like the way DaVinci Resolve works. Not DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut works, where once I set it, it's like, no, just leave it where it is. It's on the hard drive. Don't do anything in the background. But I don't want to be thinking about that. I just like that kind of stuff. It's more interested. You have to build it back. You can't just buy it. Oh. So I should build back a 48 terabyte Synology, which would cost what? Let's see what one would cost right now. Let's see what it costs. Let's do this. Let's screen share. Let's Go to Sin all OG Inc. NAS. Let's see. Yeah, and then the hard drives. So we're gonna do not Canada Computers. NAS selector. Where to buy? Where do I buy these? $2,300. Well, I should have just asked you. Fine. But yeah, here, this is what I buy. $300, 4 terabytes, and super fast. Anyways, that's that. All right. Let's get back to here. But the one thing, moving down here, even though it's a bit bigger space than I had before, I pared down. I have just 2 monitors. I have my streaming, my YouTube setup, just so it's always in my face. I know hey, no, you got to do this. I have my computer, the hard drives, backup hard drives, and then a little bit of storage over there. Just trying to keep it simple. I have my drums here. I can't see them, but they're there. So, honest opinion, what were your thoughts on Final Cut Pro's latest update? Did it feel like it justified the jump from 10.8 to 11? Does it feel like it was such a big jump? Was Magnetic Mask a big enough reason to do the jump? I personally don't feel it. I felt like it was a nice feature add. It was a nice plugin, essentially, for free. Definitely, it works fantastic. So whatever they did, they would have called it Magic Mask if DaVinci didn't already have that name. I like the way it works. I like the way it has a very simplistic but yet powerful engine that drives it, and being able to add stuff to it. I think that's really cool. The transcriptions is a nice add, but I don't feel that it's I don't feel it's there yet. I think it's halfway there. It's a good start. Like they've added it, so that means they're going to add more features to utilize it. Cool. We'll get there. And there's ways to change the captions into actual video on-screen graphics. So I'm pretty sure Apple will find a way to make it cool. And I think the delay is coming because they want to be able to have it where the feature they're going to add is that when the word comes up, it's going to be matched to the transcription. That would be cool. Apple should be able to find a way to do that. Do I have a Ludwig drum set? No, I do not. Wait, that's not true. Hold on. I do have a Ludwig drum seat, though. No, I have an electronic drum kit. Oh, I have an electronic drum kit that is not noiseless. It is definitely loud when I play it. Just ask anybody. Yeah, I bought the electronic drum set. It was one of my wish list things that I always wanted to buy. I used to have a Tama Rockstar way back when, which was, fantastic. It was this deep maroon red. It was beautiful, but had to let it go. There was no room where we were living before, and we had kids, and it's like, I'm not going to go down that path. Playing drums inside a house is not a fantastic thing. So, but having an electronic drum kit, at least it's a little bit less noisy, which still fun. It's still fun to play. I still get a little bit of a workout. I think everyone should play some kind of instrument. Drums is by far the best because without it, who's going to keep the tempo? Yes. And I love that Apple has the ability to do more, but or at least the pro apps team has the ability to do more with it. They know they can do this stuff. Like they knew that they could do this stuff months ago, but they had to wait for the OSs to catch up. So it's like they must have felt like they're a little bit, you know, tied up at the moment, saying like, well, we can. I know that they're listening to the feedback already, saying like, where's this stuff? And they're like, well, we just can't release it yet because of another feature that's probably going to be very important OS wise coming in the spring. So we'll see what the next version of OS brings and how that's going to be, how that plays out. But I think next year there's going to be some pretty big drops from Final Cut Pro. Definitely from DaVinci Resolve. You know that they're cooking up version 20 and it's going to be a banger. Like it's just, they're going to add stuff that people are not even expecting. Though, here's my biggest gripe with DaVinci Resolve is that it uses editing logic that is like decades old. Like if you started tape to tape or you started reels and bins and like it's using terminology and kind of the ideas of stuff that like nobody uses any of this stuff anymore. Like nobody has a footage bin because there's no actual feet, thousands of feet of film that is in a bin that's sitting on the editor's floor. Like it just, none of that is just like, it's just using terminology that has kind of gone by the wayside and it's just stuck in here. And then they tried to mash that with tape to tape editing with jog wheels and doing all this stuff where, again, people don't use this kind of stuff regularly. I haven't used a jog wheel and I haven't edited tape to tape or even cut spliced film together. Like cutting literally meant cutting the film from one piece to another. And that's from my drum set. That's interesting. So stuff like that, is like, I hope that, I know it's going to stick around because people are getting used to it. And if anyone makes a change, people scream. So like change is just part of life. So like if they change it, I will be happy with it. It's just, it doesn't make sense to have that kind of linear thinking in a non-linear workflow. So I think that's my biggest gripe. We're just like, I think if they were unshackled from that terminology, from having to try to please editors that know a certain way, that are like in their 60s and stuff like that. I'm picking on 60-year-olds. I'm fucking almost 50 years old myself. So, but like again, like I'm okay to adapt to it, and especially for the new batch of editors that are coming. Final Cut Pro, I jumped into it and they changed their whole naming scheme and people freaked out. But like it's still the same stuff. You put your files here, and it's the, I don't even know what to call it. Like, can you call it footage? Recordings. I don't know. I guess, you know, it dumbs it down when Final Cut went project libraries and stuff like this. It's like they tried to use terminology that would be, is more photo based than it was editing based. But, you know, a timeline is still a timeline. Timelines weren't a thing in terms of editors and tape to tape. There was no time. There was no visual representation of what is in the edit. I don't know. Rant over. That's that. So far I like it. It's mostly fun at the moment, but it will get better. I think people are mixing captioning and apps like Captionator or Captions. Yes, absolutely. though transcriptions was really needed. It would have been nice if they added in transcription-based editing. I know it's coming. I know they're going to find their way to do it too. I'm pretty sure they're going to jam in, like remove the dead air, the ums, those words. Like there's no reason not to, especially when they see how these tools are really, really useful and helping a lot of editors create quicker. So they have an opportunity. Final Cut added a whole bunch of features that CapCut already had, so it's actually getting on par with CapCut. Is that a fair way to kind of explain it? Nice. Yeah, I bought the, which one? The T27, whatever. It's one of the higher end ones because like I tried playing the cheaper versions. I almost bought the one that looks like a drum set, but the only difference between that one and the one step below was it just looks like a drum set. The pads were exactly the same. All the electronics were exactly the same. So I could buy the ones that look like drums and just add it to this kit over time if I wanted to. But right now it's just, and this one takes up less space. Like you can't, it's right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. I actually hope that like the functionality that Gling has, I hope that Apple would just buy them out and just take what they built. Like that's and just and then put it in there. I would love for them to put it into Final Cut Pro. If DaVinci gets it, I'm fine with that too. Just as long as that function, I love using Gling for the stuff that I do. It's an amazing little app. And if you haven't heard about it, it's gling.ai. It removes all your silences, the bad takes. So if you say something multiple times, it will remove it automatically. And then it exports an XML directly to DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and Premiere Pro. It can do multicams for export a multicam clip to Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve. But it's just a great tool, especially if you're making kind of scripted or YouTube videos that you say the same thing. You know, you try to do multiple takes to say the same thing. It blasts through a lot of that. The transcriptions are really good. I think they use Whisper as their underlying protocol. It's a great little tool. There's a free version of it where you can do 2 hours worth of transcriptions a month for free, stuff like that. So, and I hope that for content creators that do this stuff often, those tools will be native in all the editing apps that are coming online for everybody. Speaking of AI, what is 2025 going to bring? What thing do you think that they're going to solve? Because I know that everyone got like really excited about Sora and how you can make video clips, and Midjourney are like, is anyone still using any of those apps? Have you played around with them? Have you used them in any of your apps? Because the latest I heard is that anything that's created or generated with AI, you can't put a copyright on it. So especially if you're working for a client, you can't guarantee that they'll own affiliate link. Maybe. Give me 1 second. But yeah, if you created something from like using AI, you can't claim it. You can't put a copyright on it, and that becomes a really big issue when working on client projects. So you have to be very, very, very careful when creating using AI stuff. I think there's a limit. Like if you do if you use it as inspiration and then you create something new out of that, you have a good opportunity for it to be completely okay, and then there will be no issues. Like even YouTube, if you create content and you alter images, you have to declare that, or their system will find it and then flag it, and then you're gonna get reduced. It's almost like using music, copyrighted music. You may not be able to use the content to its fullest capability, because if it infringes on a copyright of like Adobe stock or Shutterstock or something like that, like it's not an easy place to kind of navigate right now. So I'm just looking for something. I know it's somewhere. So have you guys used any of the AI tools? Do you see yourselves using the AI tools moving forward? Here. Bop. So I'm just going to put this in the chat. That is Gling. That's the tool that I use. I think it's actually fantastic. That's my affiliate link. Yeah. Also, excuse me. Doop. Since we're here, I'm going to pop this in here too. I need to get a moderator. 50% off my course for my Final Cut Masterclass. I'm doing a whole update on it. 50% off. Use the code CYBERCUT to get 50% off the course, which I'm going to be updating to all the new cool stuff that Final Cut has to offer. I find it's the first place that I go after I make a YouTube video. I used it extensively to help speed up my course production. Because when I'm making the course, I want to say something, so then I'll say it, but then my brain goes like, oh no, you should say it like this. So then I'll say it again. And just being able to go through that and just choose the best clip, because everything comes out as a script that allows you to visually see it. And you can just check mark it on or off, or just choose what you want to do, what you want to choose. Let's see if I can just bring it up. I can give you a quick example. Where is it? Bam. So I'm sharing my screen. Look at all you guys going crazy. Gling. Bam. Okay. Moving that around, bring myself up. There we go. So it transcribes the entire video, and I'm going to show cuts here. So the timeline down here, all the things that were cut out that were just false starts, bad takes. So this was the entire video. It's like, okay, I'm just checking. And it just goes on, and I went through, because I usually do the intro multiple times, so I got rid of the all the bad takes. I didn't like the way it sounded. And then there's a take I liked, and it finds it, and then it's like, oh, maybe I wanted to keep this in here, and you just unclick it. Or if I wanted to keep this line in, you can just select that. And it removes all the bad takes. And they've added a new feature where you can, if you don't want to bring it, like, so if you want to export it, you can export it to a video, just the audio. It'll give you the subtitles that you can put on your video. you can go to Adobe Premiere, you can go to Final Cut Multicam. So if you're doing a video like this where you're doing a screen capture or you're doing tutorial, it'll capture you'll have your camera, your main camera, and then you'll have the screen. And you can then separate them into Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve as a multicam, and you can cut between them, or you can do something that looks like this. But I think recently they've added where, so I'm also sharing my framework for making videos. And I think, yeah, so they added B-roll. So now this tool will allow you to add B-roll. Maybe that wasn't the best example. And it's coming from Pexels. So these are free and you could just add it. And they've added a little timeline. So now if you're to play that back. Also, I'll share my framework for making videos that you can steal to help you start your first few videos. So you can start building into, oh, I can delete that. There you go. I haven't even used it. Like literally it was this past week that they added this in. So let's try this one. I like being behind the scenes. Let's see. Add B-roll. So it's using. So add B-roll. Oops. Let's see. Add B-roll. Oh, so it's not choosing that word. There you go. You can just search for what you want. Yeah, again, I haven't used this feature, but it's definitely pretty cool. I don't know what would happen if I exported it. So let's add that. Let's see what happens if we export. Let's just, right now, why not? Okay, I'm gonna export this to a multicam. I don't think it's gonna bring it in. I've not used this at all. I don't want to replace that. If you guys are planning on starting a YouTube channel and you haven't, there's a link in the description for where to start. So go check that out if you haven't checked that out. Okay. Let's go back to here. I'm just going to open up Final Cut and see what comes in. Yeah, Gling is fantastic. I've been raving about them the moment. Like, when I found them, I was surprised nobody was talking about it because it literally became the closest thing that I've been able to find to an assistant editor. That's what Gling has done for me. Like, it's awesome. And with my course, it cut through 90% of the bad takes, the junk, and just allowed me to create 10 hours worth of content very, very quickly. Because I just did screen capture, I recorded the camera and the screen capture, and then I was able to put it into a multicam, but it was already edited for me, 90% of it. Then I just go and finesse it, and 15-minute long videos, just plowing through them. Like, there wasn't a better solution that I would have been able to do. Like, trying to go through it and delete the ums and the ahs and the bad takes. Like I literally went from hours a day to make one of these videos to like under 2 hours. I was able to get them out, rewatch it, and just have a video ready to go. And that's why I feel very confident that these updates for my course are going to get done very quickly because I have a workflow that works. And that's what it's about. Find processes that work for you. Some people don't like processes. I love them. There's times where it looks like I'm not doing anything, and then all of a sudden, bam, everything's done because it's all been kind of processing in the back of my head. Okay, let me just, so I'm going to share this, but I'm going to go to Final Cut Pro. There you go. Look at that happy guy. So I'm going to import that XML. Not import XML. Let's see if it brought in that clip. I doubt it would because I would probably need to download it. But would it leave a space for it? Keep both for now. That's fine. Let's see. It did. And it brought it in. Shut the front door. Shut the front door. What? I didn't have to do that. I did not have to do that. I brought it in. I hope that came through. I like. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That is cool. All right, I'm gonna make a video about that because, like, damn, that's cool. Anyways, all right. Bam. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now it's coming up. So there's my drum set. That's what it looks like. And there's the rest of the office. It's a lot brighter with this phone. That's interesting. Here's my setup. There's everything. I'm bouncing the light off the wall. There's everything. And then we got this bad boy giving me the rim light back here. Doop. Really quick and dirty. There's you guys. This is what I see. Nice. All right, let's get back to business. All right, so I'll leave that there for now. Put my earphones back on. Dude, you have no idea. Like, just chatting with you sometimes unlocks stuff in my brain that makes me go, yeah, I need to do this. Or it's like I need to give you a high five and a hug, and I owe you a beer, and you're gonna take me to sushi because you're the sushi king on that. So I love Time Bolt. It was fantastic. It did all those things for me. I just, ever since I found Gling, I haven't opened it because it doesn't do all the things that Gling does really well. Time Bolt is fantastic. If you're using it, keep using it because it's fantastic. Gling just does everything that I needed to do, and now it's doing even more. It's finding free B-roll from Pexels, and like just based on a search, and it imports it into Final Cut. Like, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's a fantastic drum set. You're a good uncle. Yeah, check it out. There's a way to use it for free, so check it out. See if it works for you. It doesn't work really well on vlog style stuff because it's not. Most people aren't saying the same thing over and over again. Sometimes they are. They could. But it definitely works on stuff that is like tutorials or instructional or stuff that it uses scripts. Like, for instance, that was so cool. I can't believe the clip came in. For instance, where is it? Like, not only that, like if you wanted to just export your video right from here, you can do that. It allows you to do smart captions. Like you can add captions right to it. You can do jump ins, jumps out. You can do noise removal. And you can do title generator, chapters generator. So if you do a title generator, it helps with like, so for this video, like over 40, here's why you need to start your video channel now, or it's like, okay, that's just being curious, but then you can make it 100% transparent. So it goes through your transcript. And it's basing it so start your YouTube channel over 40, a guide. But then you can also crank it up and go make it super extra clickbaity. How starting a YouTube channel over 40 can unlock new opportunities, or why starting a YouTube channel over 40 could be a great idea. Discover why over 40 is a great time to start a YouTube channel. I like that. I think I'm actually going to use that. Clickbaity, why not? The video's getting crushed because I didn't send it to my subscribers because I thought, hey, I'm going to try something new. But yeah, if you guys haven't started a YouTube channel, definitely check out that video. So that's one thing. You can speed up the pace of the pauses, so you can actually have longer pauses or slower pauses in between. You can create captions. So you can do a subscribe animation. That's interesting. I didn't see that before. So let's say I wanted to do captions for this. I can just add captions, and then you have a whole bunch of different styles that you can choose, and it should animate it. I don't think it will animate in Final Cut. Fuck, sorry. Now I need to test this out to see if it'll actually do it. Let's see. I'm not going to sugarcoat starting a YouTube channel and actually sticking with it. Well, that's interesting. I don't think they do. So it doesn't animate it. I haven't looked into it, but apply to all text. Oh, maybe it does. I'm not going to sugarcoat starting a YouTube channel. Okay, now I need to know. Now I need to know. Is it going to do a? Is it going to bring in that animation? So let's just do 2. Bam. Doop-a-doo. I'm just going to jump over to Final Cut. And let's see what we see. Let's see what happens when we import this. So we're going to import. If this comes in with animated text, like the beginning should be more about practice. No, I think it's just meant for. Oh, wait. Hold on a sec. Turn off captions. Let's see what's happened here. I'm not going to sugarcoat starting a YouTube channel and actually sticking with it. It's not. Well, it brought it in, and it's there. It doesn't do the animated part, which is fine. It's still pretty good because I can bulk change this to something else. Anyways, still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Like, this is what Final Cut should have had, you know, with Final Cut 11, but it's not even there yet. So, yeah, whatever. And not only that, like, really not only that, but like, if I wanted to, this could be the workflow, is do the whole edit here, have everything kind of banged out, then finish that video. Like, say I'm doing a 9:16, it's for socials. I could use this. I can finish the video, color correct it, do all the stuff I want to do, and then bring it back in here. It'll transcribe it, and then I can just put in the animation. So if you need that, there it is. So like you can do it. Still, it's pretty cool that I was able to bring in the. I'm not going to sugarcoat starting a YouTube. You can scale it down, make it wider. Still, pretty cool. Pretty effing cool. All right, back here. Boom. There we go. It's okay. when I started this channel, I was 42 and I'm 47 now, creeping in on 50. And when I started, I was like, okay, making YouTube is like that's for kids or like people that are super extroverts, people that are like are that just can't help themselves and that are always like, you know, super excited and they narrate everything that they do in their life. Like my son is like that. He's 9 and he literally narrates 100% of the things that he does. Like he's gonna love doing YouTube if that's what he wants to do. For me, I'm like this 90% of the time. I'm editing. I'm just like I'm just listening. I'm just or I'm doing motion graphics or I'm doing stuff like that where I'm in my head 90% of the time. So when someone asks me like, "Oh, how do you do that?" I just be like, "Well, you just go bang 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 and you're done." Right? Cuz like I don't show my work. Even when I was in school, in high school, I never showed my work. I just like there's the answer. I've done all the work in my head. So forcing myself to communicate step by step how you do a process was a new way of thinking, and it forced me to slow down and communicate because like I made a video talking about the Final Cut Pro timeline and all the amazing things, and when I edited it together I was just like, yeah, doesn't everyone know this? And I just cut everything and just like, and every single comment was, this is a great video, great tutorial. I didn't know it could do it, but slow down. I had to pause the video so many times. Like I literally rambled. It was all concise. I edited everything out, but like I needed to learn how to slow down, take a breath, communicate, because people aren't able to listen while they are doing something. So it's stuff like that that I loved, that came from this whole experience. I love that I've met people through this medium, this 2D screen, the 16:9 aspect ratio portal. I've met many amazing people, Doc Rock and Luis, Mr. Camera Junkie, in the audience here today. Like people like that, where just have conversations and literally geek out over all the cool stuff. Like I get really excited, and you know, initially I started this channel because I moved out to a new city and there wasn't anyone in my immediate space that I was able to just like talk about, you know, all the cool stuff. So I would chew off my wife's ear, and you know, she'd have to listen to me like talking about all the new cool Apple gear that came out, or all the new camera stuff, or this why this lens is so good. And and so like, baby, I thank you for being there to listen to that stuff. But I know like I could see her eyes just glaze over and be like, oh, it wasn't you know. So starting this and then like instantly you know, within a few videos, getting people to be like, hey, I didn't know about that, or that's really cool, and just starting conversations. And it's like I remember those first 100 subscribers, just like literally someone subscribed to my channel and was interested in this as well. And because I was used to being on film sets or in a studio where there would be a whole bunch of other artists that are literally doing the same thing on the same tools as you, and you know, you quickly find the things like, oh, this works, this is cool, did you try this, have you tried this process? And we geek out about that stuff. So you find your little like high school clique, and this is that. So like there's a whole thing where I didn't get to be a kid. I had to grow up really fast when I was young, so I didn't get to enjoy a normal childhood. So like my wife jokes about it a lot, where it's like I'm getting to be that teenager. I got to buy drums. I'm doing all the cool stuff that like I wished I was able to do when I was younger. And then just finding people that are, you know, my age, younger, older, it doesn't matter. But like, just like, oh, you're into this too. And then you instantly connect and you get excited about similar stuff. And like, even this whole YouTube journey, like, hey, did you know this? Like I have this, I'm on a Discord with a bunch of amazing creators, and we literally geek out like, hey, did you know about this? Did you check out this? Like, oh, I tried this thing and this worked. And like, like we get amazing viewer comments, we get angry viewer comments, and then we kind of just have a place to essentially talk around the water cooler, where it's just like, did you guys watch this show? Did you guys, see that video by that creator? And it's this great place. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend it. I would say get on there, because you'll find people that literally are in the same wavelength as you. Yeah, that's what these channels are for us. We're nerding out about the cool stuff, and trying to motivate people. It's like, what do you mean you're not doing it this way? Like, I've done the homework for you. Now just implement it. Just do it. Yeah. Now we get to be a kid over again. Like, I still feel like a kid here, and like, I just enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Now the difference is we have adult money that we get to play with and buy toys with. So I even call my car the best toy I've ever bought, because that's what it is. Like, I know that the moment I buy it, like, I'm not letting it go. It's staying with me. It's my car. It's awesome. It's there. And I think that when we're kids, we don't realize that trying to rush to grow up, just enjoying that curiosity is fantastic. Like, I know my daughter's already at that stage where she's a teenager, but like, you can tell she wants to be older. She wants to be, more mature. She wants to do all those kind of things. Like, she's getting into that, but it's like, no, just be a kid. Just like, still enjoy this moment. Like, she keeps asking for her own phone, her own iPhone. I'm like, no, because I know what that's going to mean. Maybe more for me than for her. Like, I know she's responsible, she's awesome, but yeah, it's like, no, because I know she'll get sucked into it even more than she is. She has an iPad, but she wants a phone so she can take it with her to school. I'm like, yeah, not yet. Not yet. Hey, they're just toys. We just get to play with them now. And the other thing that comes with doing stuff over and over again is, like, you really realize and understand what's a cool thing to have and what's something that you actually need. And I know, Doc, you and I have had this conversation so many times. It's almost like on repeat, where people are like, nah, I need the latest camera, I need the latest gear, and everyone gets this FOMO about, like, that's what's gonna make me a standout breakout artist. It's like, no, it's like, you need to develop that skill without any gear. You should be able to pick up any camera and make it look amazing, because then when someone puts a great piece of gear in your hands, that's where, like, your creativity, the creative part of you is going to shine through. It's like, now I can do all this stuff. I was watching this video about a YouTube cinematographer who was going through Shane Hurlbart's cinematography masterclass, and he said that it was such a mental unlock moment, where he went from the independent filmmaker to getting on set and seeing all these toys, and how much bigger the possibilities were than having one light box, one camera, and a microphone. Like, the different worlds, and it's a different way of working, and the creativity and the way you have to think about it is such a gap between those two areas, where a lot of people think, like, oh, I just get one light and I can film a Hollywood scene. It's like, maybe in about this amount of area, but if you want to do an exterior scene or a really wide scene, that's where, like, exterior night scene, forget it. Like, there's just none of the YouTuber lights would do anything. You need multiple lights just to light a a small area, let alone a big area. And it's like, are you thinking about lighting the background? Like, think if this was an outdoor space and this was a park across the street. It's like, well, you need a light and you can't put the light in the shot, so you need to have it out of frame, lighting that part. Like, think how much power you need to have just to do a simple lighting effect. And you can't just use the street lights because they're gonna maybe flicker or they'll have a weird color and you can't control that. And you just in crazy stuff. AI is already impacting video editing careers right now. I was just showing Gling. Gling is my assistant editor these days. Like, I was always thinking like, oh, I want to get to a point where I'll probably hire an editor to help me out, but like the channel's not making enough to justify it. Because if the channel was making more like through the ad revenue and stuff like that, then I can hire someone. But I know what a good editor is worth. I know how much I charge as an editor. So even an assistant editor, like a partial of my rate, like that's what I would feel comfortable paying someone. None of this like $100 per video crap like that. Just get that out of my face. That makes me angry. That makes me so angry that people get taken advantage of like that. But I like Gling. Like I was able to use Gling as my assistant editor, and the price is right comparatively to what the YouTube channel is making. There's a paid version. It's $15 a month US. But there's a free version where it'll do 2 hours of transcriptions for you. But like it goes through and picks the best parts and assembles, does an assembly for you, and then I come in and I do the finishing. And that's the way I typically work on client projects. If I'm not doing the assemble edit and then finishing, also the finishing artist, there's usually someone that will do the assemble edit and then I'll do the finishing work on it. So Gling for my YouTube channel for $15 a month, that's an assistant editor that is invaluable. Now they're finding B-roll for me too. Come on. So yes, 100%. AI is going to come and disrupt everything. It's going to disrupt the tasks that people don't want to do. I hated being an assistant editor because we were just doing the assemble edits. We were logging everything. We were, organizing everything. We were finding B-roll shots. We were categorizing it. We're placing it into bins. Like, nobody wants to do that. They want to be the editor. They want to be editing. So AI will come and disrupt all those things. Like, no one wants to do data entry, and an assistant editor is essentially data entry. You're putting in all the meta tags. You're putting, you may clean up the audio. You may put on the base grade. You may do like all this simple stuff that it doesn't take long to learn, and AI is coming in to kind of clear that up for a lot of people. There may be like AI will do the first pass, then there will be an assistant editor that will, do the first base cut, a little bit more creative work, and then the finishing editor will come in and make the final decisions. So it may be that like the logger and tagger will like that job is going to be gone soon. But Ben Affleck did have a really good kind of response to that, where AI will be able to recreate a style, but there is like, especially in filmmaking, there's a balance of like knowing when to push it to that limit and when to stop, and when to no, this is that optimal perfect point in the process where this looks good enough and it's communicating exactly what I need it to do. Because AI will just push it as far as possible and make the most outlandish thing and be like, space opera, and it's just like, and then it'll just create what it thinks a space opera should be, not like, well, how do you add something new to it that is unique, that is like, wow, that's actually really cool. That's where AI, I think, will falter a lot. I think we're just about to enter a phase of very, very much a lot of mediocre videos because people relied on AI too much. I know that you've all seen it, especially on YouTube. You've watched a short or something that came up with an AI voice, and it's just like this, and you skip past it, and like, no, I like, and they all have 200, 300 views or 600 views, maybe 1,000 views, but like nobody's gonna go back and watch that again. Nobody's gonna want to engage with that kind of stuff. And if it's just about views farming and people do the automation, like I think half of those automation YouTube things are a scam. Like they're garbage. Like it's about volume, and people want, there's no impact, there's no connection, there's none of that with any of those videos. Like, yes, the voices will sound better, the editing will come better, the graphics will come better, but it'll still feel like, well, it's too much. Like it just doesn't feel like anything. Ooh, AI will help the great editors and expose the mediocre ones. Yep. That's kind of what I just said. Maybe I saw it peripherally. The problem I'm facing is that when I charge for editing, people hardly want to pay. How do I deal with that? That's a great question. Don't work with those people again. Just get what you can from them and then get out. Find people that respect what you do. Like, and it's not easy. It's easy to say, but it's complicated. Like I spent the early part of my career trying to take every single job that was available to me, because like I need to build my reel. I needed to build these relationships, but like you don't want to build relationships with people that aren't willing to give you that respect right from the beginning. Like they understand how much work goes into making a product, a video. So you need to just keep looking. If you're free and you're available, there's two ways to go about it. Don't work for exposure, and don't work for someone that says, I'll pay you on the next one, because there is never a next one. There are ways to kind of work with it. So if someone actually has the clout to give you exposure, then you take that risk and you hope that they'll introduce you to more people. If someone says that they'll pay you on the next one, send them, if you want to work on it and it's a good opportunity, send them at the end of the project, say, fine, no problem, I'll work on this for free. Just say you're going to work on it for free. Say, I'm going to give you a 100% discount, but I'm going to send you an invoice at the end so you know what this is worth. So they know what to expect when they come back to you. Just know they probably won't come back to you, because they're there just to leech as much stuff for free and then move on to the next person that they can get. The problem with that is that there's never a consistency with those clients. Their projects always look different because someone else new is always working on them. And the brands that work well are the brands that work with consistent artists, because then they're able to build a campaign, able to build a consistency. That's why YouTubers like working with the same editor, either themselves or with someone that they trust, that helps them build a look. But once that editor leaves, that look leaves with them. Yeah, so invoice no matter what, like, and just put 100% discount, or if they pay you like a portion of it, just be like, this is the rate and I gave you this kind of discount, so this is what you owe me. And just so they visually know how much you're helping them. It's not the other way around in this case. Like, unless Nike calls you and says, we want you to edit this spot, but we're just going to test you out to see how it works. Then you make the call. But like if someone calls you because of their mom and pop shop video that they want to do, they probably don't even know what they want in a video, so they're gonna eat up all your time. So there's two ways to go about it. If you already have a reel that you're happy with, keep promoting it and keep looking for people that want to work with you and that are happy to work with you. I've had situations in the past where I would say like, oh, this project is going to cost $5,000. And client number one would say, whoa, that's too much. We only have $500. And well, I don't want to work with that client. But then client number 2 would be like, $5,000, that's it? Yeah, let's start today. Like, it's like, just know what your limit is, what you need to do work. I have a whole video that goes on how to price yourself accordingly to your skill and the market that you're in and the market need. It's somewhere, I don't know, it's on my channel maybe. But like, I literally talk about how to price and, you know, how to set your day rate for yourself. So it is about finding new clients. It's about finding clients that work well with you. The goal is to find 5 clients. My hand's still dirty from picking up that chair. The goal is to pick up 5 clients that give you repeat work year in and year out. And I have that. And the clients are fantastic. And as you go, you get to, you know, you'll get new opportunities, the people that come up. And it took me a long time to get there. Don't let it feel like it just happens overnight and I just thought about it. Like I had to work to get to where I am. And it's about building a lot of trust. Clients needed to trust me to know that I'll do that kind of stuff. And it does come from the kind of work that you've done in the past to show that you can do that work. But yeah, as you go, you know, every new client that comes in, like 80% of the work that you do every year, or every 80% of the income should come from about 5 clients. And that other 20% is your ability to, you know, just giving yourself some time to work on your own personal projects, to work on new potential clients and new opportunities, because a client could come in that could become your 6th client that then works with you consistently. And, you know, it allows you, that 20% allows you to try a new price with new clients. And, you know, people will let you know very quickly, like, oh, that's way too high. But like if a client, like if your day rate say is $1,000, just using a simple number, and they say they only have $100 to pay, it's like, well, then don't take the time working on that project unless the project can give you something else in equal value in return through, like, hey, I got to, you know, you spam your socials and saying, hey, I got to work with this client. This is what I produce from, and the thing is going to look amazing. Just know that I know most creatives are like me, where the moment they decide to work on something, they lean into it and they give it 100%. There's no like, well, okay, I'll only give it 10%. No, like most creatives, like, they give it their all on that project because they know their name's going to be attached to it. So that's the short, long answer, I guess. Yeah, you should always be experimenting with and looking for new clients, especially if you have room. But if you're taking every single job that comes along, you won't have time to find new clients. Yeah, there's a weird thing that happens. The clients that pay more are the ones that back off and they trust the process. And they'll give you feedback when you show them your latest edit, but you need to get to that point where a client is coming to you because of your expertise, not because they want to literally micromanage every single thing, where that just takes all the fun out of it. So that's that balance. If you want to do editing as a career, I would probably say DaVinci Resolve and just dive into it, because there are more people switching to DaVinci Resolve on a more professional level in more studios. It's cross-platform. You can share the projects easier. There are ways to work remotely with other editors on the same timeline. So I think DaVinci Resolve is probably the best bet if you're just going into editing. But just know that if you go into DaVinci Resolve, a lot of people are going to expect you to know Fusion and color grading and audio engineering. And these are all their own unique modalities, their own unique specialties. So, you know, learn editing, but be at least familiar with the other ones so you can add titles. You can do that very quickly, because you don't want to be sitting with a client and then trying to figure out how to use a certain tool. So if you dive in, go full in and learn DaVinci Resolve. You're going to be able to do very well as an editor, being able to edit in DaVinci Resolve. But if you can know all the editing tools, the basics, the fundamentals of editing translate to every single one. I use all of them. I use DaVinci Resolve. I use Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro. I've even done stuff in Avid. I'm very well versed in After Effects, in Nuke, Cinema 4D. Like, I do it all. I want to learn Houdini, but that's kind of like trying to learn calculus, but in a different language. That's what it feels like for me. I just like creating. I like doing stuff behind the scenes. That's where I thrived, and I enjoy being. But I also like enjoying sharing knowledge here on YouTube. So that's cool. That's cool and fun. All right. Almost 2 hours. This is great. Had a good time. I think I'm gonna call it soon. I know that a lot of my U.S. friends are going to be celebrating Gobble Gobble Turkey Day. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys, Doc, Louise. Sorry, I was reading something. My brain went. Yeah, hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I enjoyed being back. I didn't expect to be on here for this long, but it's fun. I just wanted to say hi. I wanted to chat about all the updates. Just hang out. Get used to it, because it's been way too long not being here, and I miss connecting. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.